Did you know it's nesting season for our birds in our backyards and all over? And I'm with Darlene from the Backyard Bird Shop. And so, there's so many questions about nesting. It's so exciting this time of year. So do we have to provide a house for our birds?
Well, you don't have to, but certainly you'd be missing out on a lot of joy if you didn't.
That's true.
So our cavity nesters are the type of birds that'll use a nest house. And those include chickadees, nuthatches, wrens, among some of the ones, right? And those are some of the most common ones. So this is a chickadee house, and notice that all of our houses do not have perches. Perches can be used by predators, and the nesting pair that uses this do not need a perch.
No.
They will cling to the side and they'll go right in. So you also want to have an easy to access for cleaning later in the fall.
Sure.
Having a wood and screw mounted, it's really sturdy. It's going to last you for years.
Sure.
You're going to get a lot of pleasure out of this. And so, but you're going to notice dimensions. We have some that are shorter. These are for wrens, but we always say a wren might build up its nest to be short so that this is much more shallow.
Right.
Whereas a chickadee wants it deep. And so having a chickadee house allows you 3 different species that might possibly take you up on it.
Excellent. And so if they're not going to go into a house, they're going to go into maybe shrubs or trees. So maybe don't prune too hard. I know our producer, Therese, was pruning something and she found a nest, so she stopped and backed off. So really, you have to be cognizant of what's going on.
Absolutely. Watching your yard, because a lot of birds will be using your shrubs and trees, but they'll also be using vegetation on the ground. We've had calls where people contact us and they say, oh my gosh, I just cut back a fern and exposed a towhee nest. So many of our birds will nest on the ground, but they're looking for cover. And so being cognizant of what's happening in the yard is very beneficial to our birds.
And then I see some like fuzz up here and lint,
Yes.
and so what are these?
This is my favorite subject. It's offering nesting materials. Now there's a lot to be said about just simply the stuff in your yard. Having a wild, natural area where there's mud, where you've got leaves, twigs, all kinds of stuff available, dry vegetation. But you can create a nesting station, and I can't tell you the joy. Every year we look forward to this. So we put out natural fibers. You want either animal fibers or plant fibers. You really want to stay away from dryer lint. Dryer lint is not natural, and it actually absorbs water. We've got very wet springs. Birds have a hard time keeping their young warm and dry if you put something that isn't going to insulate them. And so this is actually,
great.
yeah, this is cat hair, and we put this up every year. We have indoor kitties, and we contribute the cat hair into either a suet cage or into a brush. And if you don't have that, then we have materials that you can actually purchase here. They're plant and or animal fibers that are available.
Oh, excellent. Show us these. These are so beautiful.
So this is actually a chestnut-backed chickadee's nest. You can see here natural fur that they've used, as well as moss, and they've left some of the shavings that we put in originally. This is super light.
It is, and it's the shape
of
the birdhouse.
Yes,
it's
it is. It is
beautiful.
Yeah. And so then what you can see here is this is a nuthatch nest that I cleaned out last fall. And they've used primarily shavings and also branch pullings. And so they're not necessarily going to use this, but many birds, including hummingbirds, will even use this.
Oh, that is so nice. So really you're giving everybody some kind of material.
You really are.
And then what about feeding? Is it a different kind of food that we're giving them this year, or should we make sure that we're doing it?
Keep it going. A lot of folks don't realize that it's really beneficial to have your feeders well stocked. Suet is a very important high-fat, high-protein source. When cold snaps happen in spring, insects are really hard to come by, and most of our birds, aside from the finch family, do not feed their young seed. They feed insects and or suet as an alternative. And so keeping that well stocked, but then keep the seed stocked too, because finches, your goldfinches, your house finches, they regurgitate seed to their young. And so, not to mention, parents need to fuel themselves. Some of them are making multiple trips back and forth to the nest.
So we've provided some kind of nesting box or nesting material, we've fed them, and so what else can we do to protect these birds at this time of year?
Well, certainly if we know of a nest in the yard, you want to try and keep your pets in. And there will be visiting pets as well. So if you can't do that, you also have things that you can put out in the yard to protect your birds. These are devices that are motion activated, and they'll send out a sound that you and I don't hear, but the animal that you're trying to keep away from the nest will hear and will be shooed away.
That is so nice, because you're not hurting them, you're just kind of pushing them out of the area.
Yes.
And what I really love to talk about right now is about this chart that you've made that's on the website. So tell us just a little bit about that.
So this is a chart that's going to include a lot of our backyard birds. I don't have everybody on there yet, but we're working on it. And it's going to tell you timing of events in nesting season. So when nests are being built, and it's all species specific. Not everybody does the same thing. How many eggs they lay, how long it takes to incubate, who incubates if we happen to know that, and then also when they hatch, how long will they still be in the nest before they fledge. And there's additional fun information packed in there, but it's a great resource for anyone who's doing nest watching. And speaking of nest watching, Cornell Lab has a wonderful citizen science project that you can sign up for called Nest Watch.
So all that information is going to be on Backyard Bird Shop website. You can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over there, and you have to come out to the stores because it is just jam-packed full of all kinds of material that you could use for your friends in the backyard. Thanks so much. It's been great.
Thank you.